Chapter 24. And the vision changed, and I saw 7 angels come from heaven, and they bade me, for no one was found worthy to receive the word. And I bowed my head and wept, for I saw the light came from the right hand of him who sat on the throne, and he said, Have no fear, for I know my servant, and will lift you above all kingdoms and priests, and give authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. And the first angel came forth, and in the hand held a scroll written on both sides, and said, Pure are the 7 eyes, for they are as the 7 spirits of God sent out to give wisdom to the earth. And he broke the seal, and I heard a new song, Isaiah 42, verse 10, chapter 14, verse 3, chapter 15, verse 3. And there came forth the prayers of the holy people, and the earth fell in half, and one there flowed blood, and the half was of red, and the second was white, but knew not God. And he provoked his works in greed, and saw conquest. And the second angel came forth and broke the seal, and there appeared a fiery red horse, chapter 6, verse 4. For the blood would cleanse, and its rider was given power to take peace from the earth. And the third angel broke the seal, and there came forth a black horse, and the rider was called Famine, and carried a pair of scales, chapter 6, verse 5. For the Lord said, When I cut off your supply of bread, they will dole out the bread by weight. To each was given a quart of wheat according to his labor. But many will come and take of the bread and give no labor, and they will make starvation upon the earth, and they will cry, and their voices will be as a wilderness. For even the oil and the wine will be scarce, for there will be no rain, and from the sun none will find cover. And the fourth angel broke the seal, and there came forth a pale, sickly green horse, and the rider was Death, chapter 6, verse 8. And the sky was filled, and I saw unrest, misery, pestilence, scarcity, war in all forms, and it was full of fear. And the angel said, Be not afraid, for death is of man, and God does not know me, death, for I bear the fruits of free will, which is a gift of God, but of all those signs, they are made by man. They will walk over the waters and fly with the creatures of the sky and go to the depths of the sea. They will lift their bodies into the stars, but they will find not God. For with these gifts they will make terror upon all the nations of the earth. And they will hand out pestilence, and they will make evil upon all that was made by the hand of God. For God has tested his people, even to the 4th seal. And the 5th angel broke the seal. And the angel wore a robe of white, and he held out his hand and said, Come, for I am the breath of life. And from the cloud, Matthew 17, verse 5, came forth the Lamb, and around and in a circle came forth the souls of martyrs. For they all have lain on the altar of knowledge and received the baptism of life eternal. And the martyrs cried in a loud voice, Sovereign Lord, may we go abroad, even as the Spirit, that all will know the time of your coming. And there came a loud trumpet, Matthew 24, verse 31, from heaven, and all bowed their heads. And he gave charge to his servants to walk abroad and to carry the message so that all may be prepared for the age that will be as gold, and when all will know their brothers and sisters by the light of their being. And the sixth angel broke the seal, and there came a great wind from heaven, and the earth shook. Every mountain and island moved, for the stars of heaven knew not their place. And there came from the sky many stars that did fall towards the earth, and the time was seen. For late were the figs that dropped from the tree, and all stood in fear, for great was the wrath of the Lamb. And his servants throughout all the priests of the earth, who all had given false prophecy, for they had laid bare the earth and caused the stars of heaven to move. And there came a great light from heaven, and the wind was still. And the Lord said, though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace. Jeremiah 31, verse 31, Ezekiel 34, verse 25, Matthew 26, plus 28, Mark 14, plus 24, Luke 22, verse 20, Sarah 5, verse 8, 16, verse 91. And those of the light will make the sign which is of love, and will share comfort in the pure spirit. And the seventh angel came forth and broke the seal. And there was silence in heaven for half an hour, for the time of the prophecy was known. And there appeared the seven angels standing before God, and seven trumpets were sounded. And the names of the angels were Uriel, Raphael, Michael, Serachiel, Gabriel, and Remiel. And the seven angels took the found scroll and filled it with fire from the altar and hurled it onto the earth. And there were peals of thunder, rumblings, flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. And all were bathed in the light and walked in the knowledge of love and of spirit. And where there was desert, there came forth grass, and where there was murky water, it was made clear. And in the sky there were no clouds, and all the stars were made bright. And the Lord directed his angels to walk amongst all nations, that they may know the prophecy and make the sign, so that at that day they may freely enter the golden age.